Welcome back. Well, targeting conservatives. Turning Point USA's Charlie Kirk and Candace Owens are attacked by left-wing protesters while trying to have breakfast at a Philadelphia coffee shop. Watch this.
We love the police. We love the police. We love America. We love USA. America. Shame on you! Shame on you! Shame on you!
God, joining us right now to detail all of it and tell us what happened. Candace Owens is Turning Point USA's communications director. And Candace, it's good to see you this morning. You've been so incredibly articulate about what's going on. That must have been scary for you. Tell us what happened.
Yeah, so we were eating at this restaurant, and there was a group of 4 individuals that were bearing the Antifa decal all over their clothing and on their backpack. So we recognized they were in Antifa, and they instantly recognized Charlie and I, and they were whispering amongst themselves, looking back. There was quite some distance between us. They were on the opposite side of the restaurant. But we didn't think anything of it. They recognized us, we recognized them. I guess they sent out a bat signal, if you will, to the local Antifa chapter, and they all came within 20 minutes. There were about 25 to 30 protesters outside on the streets.
What do they want? What are they protesting?
Just us being conservative. You're not allowed to be a conservative thinker and eat breakfast publicly, apparently. We've done nothing. We said nothing. I think the restaurant owner was shocked. At that moment when they realized that their friends had arrived, they shouted at us in the restaurant, calling us Nazis and fascists. And I said, do you realize I'm a black woman? You're calling me a Nazi. I said, are we not allowed to eat here because we're conservative? And we walked outside of the restaurant pretty quickly, and then they were barricading us. And fortunately, the police must have seen them assembling a crowd very quickly, and they created a barrier between us and them. This is an all-black police force, all-minority police force, so it was a jarring sight to see because, as you guys know, Antifa is a white gang.
You know what's incredible to me? No comment. Crickets on the left. Crickets from the Democrats or the left who've actually seen this and are constantly talking about the right and the Republicans who are, upsetting the public peace. Have you heard anything about this from anybody on the left to say this is wrong, what just happened to you?
Well, Maria, this is what they wanted. This is what Maxine Waters called for. She wanted people that support Trump to be approached in restaurants, approached on the streets. Exactly what she called for is what happened at this restaurant yesterday. So we're not too shocked by their silence. We are just shocked at how violent it's grown. In the past, we've seen one person approach somebody that supports Donald Trump or somebody that's in Trump's cabinet. This was 30 people that assembled. And if the police weren't there, God knows what would have happened.
It's not just organization, Candace. It's also funding.
Yes.
Do you have any sense of who is funneling money to these groups, who is organizing them? Because again, it speaks to big money, does it not?
Correct. They're obviously funded. This was 8 a.m. in the morning. I don't know how 30 individuals were able to get off work. This clearly was their job. Many people have said that this is funded by George Soros. I have no information to say that that's true or that's false, and we definitely haven't looked into it. But I think it's time that we understand who is funding these people. People are said that Antifa protesters are paid $20 per an hour in cities. So that could be true. That could be false. That obviously wasn't my #1 concern yesterday, but I think that it needs to now become at the forefront of the conversation amongst conservatives to figure out who is funding these people.
First it was shaming. First it was shaming online, all getting together to try to make someone feel uncomfortable or inadequate by the shaming and the name calling. But as this president has increasing good outcomes from some of his policies, they're getting completely unhinged. It's getting worse.
It is. And I think my particular presence obviously annoys them because I'm a black American. And we had that Rasmussen poll released last week, which showed that Donald Trump's support from black Americans has doubled since this time last year. And that is quite remarkable. It's because black America is waking up. We are starting to understand that it is the left that is angry. It is the left that is violent. And it is traditionally and still the Democrats that are racist.
Has this kind of thing happened to you in other places? Was this the first time that you got confronted this way, or is it becoming a regular thing?
So we are always confronted on college campuses. That's what we do at Turning Point USA. We go and we speak about conservative values, free markets and capitalism on college campuses. And as you know, you cannot be a conservative speaker on a college campus today. So we are often confronted with Black Lives Matter, protester, and Antifa, but we expect them when we bring security. Yeah. That was the first time that I've ever been confronted like that in a public space. And to have it be that many people, especially, was a bit overwhelming. And the thing I was concerned about the most is they were screaming in my ear with with a bullhorn. What they're trying to do is get you to react. They're whistling in your ear, and that's very loud. You know, it really affects your eardrums to hear that much noise at this distance. So
they know exactly what they can get away with.
Right.
Throwing water on you guys. Not going to get arrested for that. Putting a bullhorn right next to your head, screaming at you, getting this close to your face. As long as they don't touch you, they're not going to jail. It is incredibly insidious.
Correct.
What is going on?
Well, it's great that the police were able to react so quickly. You did not call the police. They just happened to be around, or did the restaurant owner get them involved?
No, the restaurant owner was shocked, and I know that he had given a statement to some media, but I think what happened was maybe one police officer was nearby, saw a bunch of people throwing food at the window, because first they were throwing food at us while we were eating inside, and they likely called other police officers to arrive, because more kept showing up as we were outside. And as I said, all minority police force being shouted at by an all-white gang who were calling us race traitors and saying that all police are racist.
I've said this over and over again. Intolerance, hate, and violence in the name of tolerance.
Correct.
That's what I can't. I don't know, when does
They hide behind it.
When does this snap? When do people get sick of this?
To me, I feel that it's not going to be until somebody dies. The left refuses to come out and speak against this. The left refuses. The Democrats have not come out and said anything. This has got to be the most viral video online and on the news. It's been the most discussed story. They have said absolutely nothing. And as I said, it's because they condone this behavior. This is their gang.
And they make it like thuggery. I mean, they just want to gang up on people.
Correct. Imagine if a bunch of people in MAGA hats and Make America Great Again hats saw a black liberal in a restaurant and said, "You can't eat here, get out," and they started with a bullhorn to her face. This would be wall-to-wall coverage on every network, and we would never hear the end of it. But that's because they have decided that racism is okay, violence and harassment is okay, so long as it's against conservatives.
That's exactly right. That's why it's okay that the leadership at the FBI and the DOJ completely abused their power. It's okay. It was against Trump.
That's correct. This
Candace,
is how they think.
Thank you very much for joining us. Thanks for sharing what happened to you. Candace Owens joining us there.